Hello, everybody out there. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I am something's going on my Instagram. You know what? This Instagram live thing actually is way more complicated. There we go. There we go. Okay, here it is. So I'm going live right now from StreamYard, and with the Instagram live, you have to take multiple steps in order to make it happen. So anyway, it's happening now. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. First, I want to give a huge shout out to all the content creators out there because I have committed to 30 days of a month of reporting the news 5 days a week. And I am tired already. Like yesterday was a long day because I also host Tuesday morning Urban View on Sirius XM Urban View channel 126, and it's a live show. And so I go into the studio in DC and record there. So I typically get up about 4 a.m. to do all my like prayer, meditation, all that. Then get dressed, hop on the road, get to the studio, host a show. Now I'm not complaining. I love hosting my show. What I'm saying is hosting my show. Right after that, I went to a roundtable on AI on the Chatham House rules. So I'm not exactly allowed to say who was saying what, but it was a lot of great like big influential people in tech and in the government, and in research, and it was very eye opening. It was hosted by Semaphore and Cisco. Cisco's also doing some interesting work in Africa. And so, again, these things I'm talking about right now, public. And so it's really interesting. It was interesting to know that work is being done, and then hear other things about it. And so the meeting was great. There was a lot of so it was on the side of like, okay, people who are afraid of AI and thinking about communities equitably, meaning like the gap between who has access to what during this time. It was about, so people were talking about different research in different ways. We also, in terms of like the fear around AI, the conversation at the luncheon was hugely like what people brought to the table was, hey, this is not the first time we've had a sort of overhaul in technology. It's not new for us to have to adapt to new technologies. So, they were kind of like saying like people are saying they're super like nervous about AI, but at the same time, the train, the car, the internet, and that would the interestingly enough, okay, I'll come back to the internet one. The internet, and then then there's research around like, yes, we have adapted into new technologies over the course of human history. At the same time, we AI might be different, and I think that it was just really interesting because I think that every new technology that comes about, we say this one might be different, right? And so in saying this one might be different, I think we tend to overly get nervous about it, like Y2K, and not to say that we shouldn't be nervous about AI. We should be nervous about AI, in my opinion, from the standpoint of regular. So the conversation came up too around regulation, deregulation. Welcome, good morning. You just joined me. I'm telling y'all about my day yesterday for the most part, but I'm telling you about yesterday. I went to like a invite only roundtable of influencers, and not social media influencers. I mean influential people in the government, around AI and tech policy, and influential people in different research institutes were there as well. And then people from like not actually, there were some folks from the workforce development community and some folks from the investment community were there. And so what happened in this meeting that I'm telling y'all about, this is the reason why I like to come back and talk about things like this, is because people, this proverbial be at the table, nobody comes back and tell you what happened at the table, right? Like we saw all these people. I heard somebody talking about how like during the Obama administration, all these comedians and things like that, they went to the White House, but then they didn't come back with nothing. All these folks like, oh, I'm at the White House, dapping them up, having a good time. Even more recently, in our current administration, people going to the White House, but they never come back and tell you, well, what was the deal? What was the plan? What did y'all come up with? And that's no shade to the administration. I'm just saying that the reason why I do what I do, and coming back and telling y'all, hey, I went to this exclusive roundtable about AI and creating a connected world. And in that meeting, here's what they talked about. A couple things were on the table. One, investment, whether or not it makes sense to invest in it when, and whether or not the current investment strategies and the current the way that the finance world works, does that work for investment in AI? AI is still new. It's still artificial intelligence is still taking off. And so the thought was like, some of this doesn't work. Like your normal sort of VC way of moving doesn't work for investing in AI at this moment because it's still so new. Another thing was in our introduction, they asked us to all talk about how we use AI. So I would say that I found out about other AIs that I haven't used. So Copilot. So Microsoft has Copilot, and if you're a person out there that you build tech, this might be helpful to you too, because later in the day, I went to another dinner where we're talking about AI. But so every day, yesterday, all my meals were formed around conversations about AI. But um, one of the things that's come, okay, so there's Copilot. So Microsoft has Copilot, which is an AI tool that is baked into all of the Microsoft products. Now, the good thing about using Copilot is it definitely can help you increase your productivity on your workflows because it's baked into all of the Microsoft products, Microsoft Word, Excel, all these different things. So if you have Copilot, it's going to work for you. But right alongside that, Google has Gemini. And so Gemini also is an AI tool that you can buy. You can buy a paid version of Gemini, and then you increase your. So Gemini, everybody's using Gemini right now through your Google searches because they have it baked in. And so when you go to Google and you see the little thing that says Gemini, it gives you like a little preview, a little sort of AI response. But what's also happening is you can buy a paid version of Gemini, buy into a paid version of Gemini. And through that, you can also increase your productivity around Google Docs, email, things like that. So there's Copilot, there's Gemini, there's Chat GPT, everybody kind of knows. And then there's Claude. I have not looked at Claude. Somebody mentioned Claude.io or Claude.ai. I have not looked it up. I don't know much about it. It was my first time hearing about it at this roundtable that I was at. If you're just joining me, thank you so much. Welcome. I'm talking about yesterday I went to a roundtable luncheon on AI with some influencers in the government and research and investor world. And then last night I went to a dinner that was also talking about AI and how you embed it in tools. So the dinner conversation, so interestingly enough, like both of these had, so the AI conversation for the luncheon that was like exclusive, we were all at a round table, not round literally, but they had us all facing each other and everybody was sort of like on an equal playing field of contribution. At the dinner, it was more of your more traditional style where you had a panel of people that talked about AI and then we all listened to the conversation on AI. So the conversation on AI at the dinner was a little bit different from the conversation on AI at the roundtable. The conversation on AI at the roundtable was, which is best to edit a book? I don't know, Veronica. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I will have to look that up. So the sentiment at both of these both of these AI discussions, and I'm gonna get into the news in a minute. Sorry, I'm coming. This is so important. The idea that like there has been so many adaptations of tech over the course of our lives. In some people's lives, if you've been living longer, there's more adaptations of tech. And the idea is like there's not anything to necessarily be super afraid of. However, the idea around regulation, who is regulating it, how they regulate it. Some sentiment is that our government is not equipped to regulate tech. Excuse me. Our government is not equipped to regulate AI. And I'm of that thought is that like our government officials don't even know they barely know how to use their phones. Like there needs to be other committees on this. Then because our government is not the most advanced from a technological standpoint. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to bring that somebody said I thought was really dope is that the advances in AI, imagine that right now we're in another .com boom, right? And so my question around that was, I think that's a great way to put it, right? .com boom, 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 boom. This is popping up. Websites. You can develop here. You can develop there. Like all that. That's what's happening with AI right now. The thing about that is, then where's the bust going to happen? Because there was also like an AI bust. You know what I mean? So it was an AI boom. I'm sorry, not AI. There was a .com boom, and then there was a .com bust. So the question is like, are we going to run into a AI bust of sorts? So yeah, I will get into reporting the news right now, but I just want to share with y'all what I heard, what I saw at the AI events I went to yesterday, and it's gonna be more and more of a conversation around AI. So some of these exclusive rooms I can't always invite people to, but I can come back and tell you, hey, this is what they said. And so it was a really, my day yesterday was really intriguing. All right, jumping into the news. If you have questions about, if you have questions about anything AI wise, I am not saying that I'm the AI expert, but I am saying that I'm at these tables where people are talking about it, so I can give you as much as I know. You can DM me. Also, if you ever miss one of these news broadcasts, you can always go to my YouTube, and that way you can fast forward me past anything you don't want to hear either. But my YouTube is at the Yami Show. All right, here we go. Running down the news. By the way, shout out to all the content creators, because right now I'm super tired and I can't even imagine what it's like to create content every day. I've set a goal to report the news for 5 days a week for a month. Okay. And I started it, a week ago. So this is week 2, I think. And so, yes, probably until about the 20th of August, I'll be doing this. Here we go. Snoop Dogg will serve as special NBC Olympics correspondent at the Games, where he will speak with NBC Olympics host Mike Tirico, attend competitions, and visit with athletes and their friends and families in his Florida City landmarks per NBC. First of all, shout out to Snoop Dogg. What gangster y'all know has risen, has the levels like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is like America's. I don't want to say it negatively. Snoop Dogg is wow. What I'll say is Snoop Dogg is a brand case study for sure. Why Paris 2024 Olympic athletes are sleeping on cardboard beds. Athletes' beds at the Paris 2024 Olympics are made of cardboard. Despite the paper construction, the beds have been designed to be surprisingly sturdy. These cardboard beds can be transported unassembled in relatively small containers, and then once their function is over, they can be recycled. The company that makes the bed said, "We designed these cardboard beds so that they can support up to 3 or 4 people jumping, because after winning a medal, people are very happy." Several athletes worried that the beds will prevent them from having sex in the Olympic Village, but that appeared to not to be the case. What? Several athletes were worried that the beds would prevent them from having sex in the Olympic Village, but that appears to not be the case. First of all, if you're an athlete and you're about to go into a big competition like this, you probably shouldn't be having sex. And not because you shouldn't be having sex from some moral standpoint, but from an energetic standpoint. But maybe you have sex after, maybe you have celebratory sex after you win. I don't know. The director of the Paris 2024 Olympics and Paralympic Villages says that the committee will be giving out 300,000 condoms to ensure everybody will have what they are expecting and what they need. Wow. So they're giving out condoms at the Olympics, yo. That's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. I mean, I get it, but be safe. You know what I'm saying? They're giving out condoms at the Olympics. LeBron James scores Team USA's final 11 points in a 92-88 win over Germany. I reported this yesterday in the pre-Olympics exhibition. Germany was the FIBA World Cup champion. Tried to send a message about knocking Americans off just days before the Olympics, but not going to happen. LeBron came through, scored 8 vital points, and wrapped them around steals, rebounds, general brute force, 92-88. Let's see. Oh, I didn't get a report on this yesterday. I know I wanted to because this is exciting. The NBA's new media rights deal is worth $75 billion, with the WNBA getting $2.2 billion of that, according to reports. About $2.2 billion of that. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I skipped the line. The NBA is on the cusp of finishing its new media deal with Disney, NBC, and Amazon, according to reports. The deal will be worth $76 billion over 11 years. About $2.2 billion of that same deal will go to the WNBA over 11 years. This amounts to about $200 million per year, which is more than triple the roughly $60 million they get annually under their current deal. It's a safer bet that the WNBA players will be paid about twice as much as they are on average right now. The WNBA plans to expand to 14 teams by 2026, and team roster sizes should expand beyond 12 members per team. The new deal will start in 2025 to 2026 NBA season. For the WNBA, the money starts kicking in 2026. Kobe Bryant's Staples Center locker hits the auction block. Kobe Bryant's locker from the Staples Center was salvaged during a 2018 renovation. It is now on auction with Sotheby's and is expected to sell for up to $1.5 million. The locker is one of many pieces available in Sotheby's sports-themed capsule, which features a range of sports collectibles, including the shorts Michael Jordan wore during his last NBA game in 2023, and the pieces worn by stars like Reggie Jackson, Jason Tatum, Steph Curry, and more. 35% of Americans worry that they can't pay their bills. Nearly 4 in 10, that's 39% of U.S. adults say they worry most of all that their family's income won't be enough to meet expenses, according to CNN poll. I reported on this yesterday. The only reason why I mention it now is because one of the things that I'm saying is like in terms of this presidential election, this presidential fighting on both sides, is that like the right keeps talking about the left and the left keeps talking about the right, and I'm sitting like, hey, but who's talking about us, right? Because yes, everything is like, I think let me see, I think it's about 9% higher. What was the language? The typical household spend is right now $925 more a month to purchase the same goods and services as 3 years ago, according to Moody Analytics, which is wild. Beset with doomist, some Gen Z children of immigrants are giving up on the American dream. Some first-generation Gen Z Americans say they feel hopeless and a sense of doom. Rather than a land of promise, they said. They see skyrocketing costs of living and healthcare, as well as loads of student debt and a chaotic political system. Just one generation in, some first-generation Americans said they're moving out of the U.S. and seriously considering it. The concept of doomism that's become popular with Gen Z is often illustrated by viral rants about leaving the U.S. and step-by-step TikTok tutorials on how to apply for dual citizenship. Young Americans are more likely than older Americans to say there are countries that are better than the U.S., according to Pew Research. Laura Loomer called Sheila Jackson Lee a ghetto bitch while on her deathbed. What the fuck? A white nationalist personality was caught on social media putting all types of racist slander and expletives on Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, who recently passed away from pancreatic cancer. Loomer wrote, even on her deathbed, this ghetto bitch couldn't keep President Trump's name out of her disgusting mouth. Sheila Jackson Lee will be remembered as a destructive force in America and one of the most low IQ members of Congress in history of our nation. Bruh, are you kidding me? Loomer doubled down on her disrespect in another tweet, saying everything she claimed about the late representative was true, that if Democrats let her give a eulogy, she would have told the truth about her failed legacy and destructive policies. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee died of pancreatic cancer last Friday. First of all, that is wild, number one. Second of all, yeah, no, there ain't no second of all. That's wild, and that is the craziest shit I've heard. All right. Woo. Okay, so I reported on this yesterday, but if you didn't watch yesterday, Duke Fakir, the last original member of the Four Tops, has died at 1988. At 88 years old. So sorry to hear about that. Cocaine sharks, predators off the coast of Brazil test positive for drugs. Scientists say sharks in the water of Brazil have tested positive for cocaine. What? Sharks out here getting high. What? Sharks in the waters off Brazil have tested positive for cocaine, marking the first time the drug has been found in free-ranging predators. 13 sharp-nosed sharks were taken from the coast off of Rio de Janeiro and tested for cocaine and benzo. I'm going to say benzo because I can't pronounce the whole thing. The primary molecule in cocaine. Each shark's liver and muscles tested positive for high levels of cocaine, and the female sharks had higher concentrations of cocaine in their muscles than male sharks. Experts have multiple theories on how the illicit substances are entering the water. It's possible that legal labs where cocaine is manufactured could be to blame. Scientists also said that it could be entering the waterway through the excrement of drug users. That's interesting. A less likely theory that that is that packs of cocaine lost and dumped at sea could be to blame. Wow. If you just joining me, I'm reporting today's news, and this news is saying that there are sharks that they found sharks that tested positive for cocaine, and they're thinking that this could come from excrement from drug users. This could come from people dumping cocaine into the water, and this could come from labs, illegal labs, so cocaine is being manufactured. Wow. I'm surprised on the news that comes out. All right, 2 new bobbleheads featuring a. I didn't mean to laugh. 2 new bobbleheads feature a bloody Trump with a fist in the air and another with a bandage over the ear. 2 or more bobbleheads of former President Trump hit the market Wednesday, including one with a bloody iconic figure pose captured on camera, followed by his attempted assassination early this month. The National Bobblehead there's a National Bobblehead Hall of Fame. The National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum unveiled new bobbleheads featuring one with a politician and business. Oh, so this is the actual entity that revealed this. Wow. New bobbleheads featuring the one with politician and businessman's historic pose, Trump's historic pose with a bleeding ear and his fist in the air, and then another one is a bobblehead with the patch over the ear. I wonder if I could share my screen and show y'all. I got too much going on my screen, but this is crazy. If you want to know about it, just Google Trump new bobbleheads. It's wild. It looks. Who is putting that on their desk? Who, Lord? Let's see. NBC primetime Olympic schedule. What to watch tonight? July 24th from the Paris Games. The 2024 Paris Olympic Games kick off tonight with men's soccer and rugby sevens. However, for those of us unable to catch the entirety of the Olympic events, waiting until after work to settle down on the couch and cheer on our chosen American representatives is the only option. However, what will actually be airing at what time? What will fans be able to watch during primetime hours tonight for the Olympics? That is what we're here to answer. Here are the primetime events happening. Olympic basketball. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Primetime schedule. Here we go. Unfortunately for Olympic fans, there will be no live events happening during primetime hours on July 24th. That isn't to say you won't be able to watch or replay highlights, but no live of the Olympics tonight will be happening. The broadcast is scheduled to have a feature of a litany of replays from early that day, starting at 8 p.m. on USA Network. Will air the U.S. men's national soccer team matchup against France. They'll also replay Japan versus Paraguay and Iraq versus Ukraine and Mali versus Israel. All right, here we go. For tonight, if you watch soccer, you can at 9 a.m. Oh, it says 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so not tonight. Ooh, it's after 9 a.m. But men's group C, which is will be at 9 a.m. Argentina versus Morocco at 9 a.m. Egypt versus Dominican Republic at 11 a.m. Guinea versus New Zealand at 11 a.m. Japan versus Paraguay at 1 p.m. These are all Eastern Standard Time, by the way. Mali versus Israel at 3 p.m. And men's group soccer, France versus USA, is going to be at 3 p.m. So you still got time to catch some of those. All right. Where should you watch the summer games? Some people may be asking. They will be streaming on Peacock and on NBCOlympics.com. NBCOlympics.com. Tomorrow is the opening ceremony. Current signs don't point to politics as Trump shooter's motive, despite Republican claims. As the FBI investigation of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump unfolds, the image of the shooter that comes into focus is that of a lonely young man, possibly struggling with mental illness, who liked guns and had no evident political motive. After senators were briefed by investigators on July 17, the New York Times reported that the FBI searched 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crook's phone, laptop, and possessions, but no clear motive for the attack has emerged. A senator at the briefing spoke to USA Today on the condition of anonymity, said investigators have interviewed at least 220 people and still haven't uncovered a motive. Also, Elon Musk said he's not donating $45 million a month to Trump. So by the way, y'all, that had to be false news because there are campaign rules around how much you can actually donate to a candidate. So you got to just be careful about all the news, right? Like the news, some of the news is set to incite, and the reality is like you can't donate $45 million a month So as far as I know, let me say this: a I'm not a I'm not a expert on political law, but I would say, and you can Google this, you cannot donate $45 million a month to anyone. So just want to put that out there. Tech billionaire Elon Musk appeared to pare down his commitment to give $45 million a month, supporting former President Trump, saying Tuesday that his giving is at a much lower level. Musk had reportedly committed to the record amount to America PAC, which he founded alongside the notable conservative donors. The promise came the same day Trump named Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. In a Tuesday interview with conservative commentator Jordan Peterson, Musk backed off of the reports of 45 million as a figure for Trump. What's been reported in the media is simply not true, Elon Musk has said. Musk later explained on social media platform X, which he owns, they have to let us know that he will still back American PAC. He did not confirm nor deny the 45 million figure or what proportion of those funds would go to backing Trump. Oh God. Okay. In tech news, Samsung's new Samsung's new foldables and wearables go on sale globally today. Samsung's new foldable smartphones and wearable devices went on sale globally starting today. The Galaxy Z Flip 6, Galaxy Z Fold 6, and the Galaxy Watch Ultra all went worldwide in the pre-order period ended yesterday. The Galaxy Ring is still available and only in a handful of countries. I'm Team iPhone, but if you need to know that, then yeah. Apple, speaking of Team iPhone, Apple Music will soon let users create playlist artwork using Apple Intelligence. 9 to 5 Mac has been found out based on iOS 18 beta 4 code that Apple has been working on a new feature that will let users create playlist artwork from Apple Music using Apple Intelligence. Stream suggests that there will be a create image button where you can edit a playlist. This button will invoke a image playground, which is a part of Apple Intelligence features. Apple teased image playground at WWDC 2024. With app users will be able to write commands to generate new images with the help of AI. These AI generated images can have different styles such as animation, illustration, and sketch. But there's no option to generate photorealistic images. Most likely, Apple Music will ask their user if they want the playlist artwork to look like them, then generate a few options to choose from. Imagine that, like, you can actually generate your own playlist image that's in the image of somebody you don't like. You're like, oh, this is I listen to. So imagine that this Apple playlist creation, right? Imagine that. Oh, I do want to come back to Oman. Thank you. I will come back to Oman. You're right. Imagine that this ability to create Apple, like using artificial intelligence to create your own playlist. Like imagine like your ex, you're like, oh, F this X. I have an F this X playlist, and then you you create artificial intelligence like an image of like merges of different of the X's or this particular X, and like you look now that is the X playlist. That is wild. All right, last thing I'm reporting. I gotta hop off. Netflix hires former Epic Games. Oh, there is one other thing I want to report. Let me see. Secret. I want to talk about the Secret Service director resigning, which makes me sad. It makes me sad not because, I mean, I get it. It's politics, right? A former president almost got killed on your watch. They're going to call you to resign. Look, that just is what it is. I get it. It's just that I do think she was probably good at her job. Like, I think that is, and the way she took that hearing like a G. When I tell y'all, there is not many times in the history of the U.S. that you're going to see, or that we have seen, let me say that, someone be able to sit at a Congress hearing like that and take all the shots they were shooting at her. Like, Mogul Chicks, probably not. Mogul Chicks asked in the chat, will you be able with the artificial intelligence that Apple is coming out with for you to create an image that goes along with your playlist? The person asked, will you be able to maintain your IP after you create your thing? No, you probably won't. I'm guaranteed that it will become their IP once you create this artificial intelligence centered thing. It probably won't. All right. So Secret Service director resigns after Trump assassination attempt. Now she was gung ho about she was not gonna resign. And she took that hearing. She was in there. They were saying whatever to her. And I think you should, and I think you're this, and I think did people plan to trust it? Like they were saying all kind of stuff. And she was like, she took a breath, she reset, she went right back. I said, yo, this woman is what we need in law enforcement. In fact, if it's going down, I want this woman on my side. Okay, because listen, and she was not willing to she stayed in her lane, right? They're asking her all these things about what the FBI things that were part of the FBI investigation. She's like, this is the part of the FBI investigation. She's like, basically, she's like, you're gonna have to ask the FBI about some of this because this ain't on me. But they weren't listening. I'm not they weren't listening. It's just testifying in front of Congress is hard, and everything they throw at you, you just it gets weird in there. I'll be honest. Kimberly A. Cheeto gave up her post Tuesday after security failures that allowed a gunman to shoot at former President Trump. The director of the Secret Service, Kimberly A. Cheeto, resigned on Tuesday after security failures surrounded the attempted assassination of former President Donald J. Trump and caused for her to step down from lawmakers in both parties. In an email to Secret Service employees on Tuesday, Ms. Cheeto said, one of the agency's foremost duties is to protect the nation's leaders, and it fell short of that mission and failing to secure a campaign rally from a gunman on July 13th. I did not want my cause of resignation to be the distraction from the great work each and every one of you do towards our vital mission, Ms. Cheeto said in the email, which was reviewed by the New York Times. She said she was deeply committed to the agency, but added that in light of recent events, it is with a heavy heart that I have made the difficult decision to step down as your director. President Biden, in a statement, thanked Ms. Cheeto for answering his call to lead the agency. As the leader, it takes honor, courage, and incredible integrity to take full responsibility for an organization tasked with one of the most challenging jobs in public service. President Biden said he would appoint a new director soon. On Tuesday afternoon, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro N. Mayorkas, to whom the Secret Service answers, designated Ronald Rowe as the agency's acting director. Mr. Rowe, who was a deputy to Ms. Cheeto, has been in the Secret Service for more than 2 decades. The resignation is a rapid fall for the agency veteran who protected Dick Cheney and Mr. Biden in their vice presidential tenures and was publicly supported by Biden administration officials after the gunman shot at Trump. The glaring security mistakes before the shooting, however, and the heated criticism that Ms. Cheeto faced in the days have since left her in a position of increasing doubt. I mean, yeah, we lost a good one on that one. I'll be honest. Like, we lost a good one. And I get it. It's politics, so things got to be what they got to be, but we lost a good one. All right, I want to end with, actually, I didn't do any lifestyle news today. I didn't do any celebrity news, but I got to go because it's only supposed to be 30 minutes. So I got to go. 40% of cancer is found to be preventable with lifestyle changes. Y'all can Google that. There's this study that came out that says that women of color being silently pissed off is affecting their autoimmune, is creating autoimmune diseases. I hope my vocal coach isn't watching because she'll be yelling at me to get off. Netflix has landed a notable new leader for its rapidly expanding gaming endeavors. So I don't know if y'all have noticed, but now when you get onto Netflix, you can actually game. You can actually play games through Netflix now. They have hired the former Epic Games executive, and new president of games. So now you have president of games at Netflix. Let me see. Elaine Taskin is the new president of games at Netflix. So there we go. Thank y'all for listening. If you have missed today's news, you can always go to my YouTube at The Omi Show. Also, like, subscribe, and make sure so you won't ever miss a day of news. I've committed. I'm super exhausted today, but I've committed to doing a month of news 5 days a week. I will reflect on how well this worked for me and my following in August. But for now, I'm dedicated. So I'm pushing through. to give y'all, to bring y'all 34 a month of news for 5 days a week. If you ever miss a day on live, because I'm on Instagram live, if you ever miss a day, go over to my YouTube and subscribe. If you are watching, it's at The Omi Show. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, drop me a comment about any of today's news topics. Thank y'all so much for listening. Great day.